crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scroller, crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scroller's March 18, 2025 edition. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube Music Charts, Global Top Songs March 7 to March 13, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT, Rose and Bruno Mars. Like Jenny, Jenny. El Mayor de los Ranas, Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. From the Friday, March 7 to Thursday, March 13, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars. APT, Rose, Bruno Mars. Luther, with SZA, Kendrick Lamar, SZA. Birds of a Feather, Billie Eilish. Nintendo US Digital Bestsellers, from March 18, 2025. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Overcooked. 2. Xenoblade Chronicles X, Definitive Edition. Super Mario Party Jamboree. Steam's Hottest Games. Global top-selling and top-played games across Steam. From the top 100 products by revenue list, for Tuesday, March 4, 2025 to Tuesday, March 11, 2025. Counter-Strike 2. Monster Hunter Wilds. Split Fiction. REPO. CISA's Cybersecurity Alerts and Advisories. CISA and partners release cybersecurity advisory on Medusa ransomware. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Sesame's CSM-1B, CSM, Conversational Speech Model, is a speech generation model from Sesame that generates RVQ audio codes from text and audio inputs. The model architecture employs a llama backbone and a smaller audio decoder that produces Mimi audio codes. Conor McGregor's White House immigration comments draw rebuke from Irish PM, as Conor McGregor bashes Ireland over illegal immigration racket. Newsweek comments as, the White House celebrates St. Paddy's Day with fighter found guilty of civil rape. Axios reports that, MAGA already looking to anoint Vance for 2028. 1 month ago The Hill reported that, Vance is overwhelming favorite to be Trump's successor in back straw poll. Give back the Statue of Liberty, French MEP tells US, and White House says it will not return the Statue of Liberty to France. In the US, MAGA figures fuel idea of Derek Chauvin pardon. DC drops lawsuit against Proud Boys, Oathkeepers over January 6 attack. Project 2025 author says, Trump's adoption of his ideas are beyond his wildest dreams. Fire at North Macedonia nightclub kills 59, injures over 150. Peruvian farmer takes German energy giant RWE to court over melting glaciers. Apple loses German antitrust appeal, opening door for greater controls. Iran denies aiding Yemen's Houthi rebels after U.S. strikes and threat from Trump. Houthis launch missile, drone attacks on U.S. warships off Yemen's coast. U.S. strikes took out multiple Houthi leaders, says National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, and Waltz says all options on the table to ensure Iran does not have a nuclear weapon. More Americans with college degrees are working multiple jobs, Fed report finds. 1 year ago it has been reported as, more than half of college graduates are working in jobs that don't require degrees. Bloomberg reported that, in the US, airlines, retailers offer bleak outlook for consumer demand. Ferrari car buyers are getting younger. CEO says 40% of new clients are now under 40. Harvard says tuition will be free for families making $200,000 or less. Myanmar military airstrike kills 27, injures 30 in resistance stronghold. Georgia sentences ex-president Saakashvili to additional 4.5 years over illegal border crossing. Rwanda and Belgium expel each other's diplomats over Congo conflict. European Tech Industry Coalition calls for radical action on digital sovereignty, starting with buying local. Bloomberg reports that Turkey plans new big tech regulations that risk clash with US. New Prime Minister Mark Carney vows Canada will never, ever be part of the US as he seeks alliances in Europe. Macron pushes EU to choose European defense over US suppliers. Kanye West drops new song apparently featuring Diddy, From Prison, Northwest, and Christian King Combs. Disney scales back Snow White Hollywood premiere amid Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot controversies, as Snow White stars Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler, divided over Israel-Palestine conflict, have tension with one another. There will likely never be a Hunger Games sequel, says Suzanne Collins, editor. Crypto exchange OKX suspends DeFi service after EU scrutiny, as OKX freezes Web3 platform after Bybit thieves launder $100 million. Klarna, nearing IPO, plucks lucrative Walmart fintech partnership from rival Affirm. PepsiCo to buy prebiotic soda brand Poppi for nearly $2 billion. Trump's World Liberty Financial crypto project says it sold $550 million in tokens. Washington Examiner reports that, Musk says, Democrats used $200 billion to buy votes of illegal immigrants. China, UK pledge to jointly address climate change, as Chinese economist calls for bold action to fill climate leadership vacuum. Trump administration resumes detention of immigrant families after Biden-era pause. Eric Prince, former CEO of Blackwater, says government needs private sector help for deportations. Doge gains access to U.S. Institute of Peace after Trump administration overhauls board. South Korea's chip exports to China sink as U.S. controls tighten. Alphabet spins off Starlink competitor Tara. Elon Musk's Starlink expands across White House complex. Trump says Putin talks will cover Russia and Ukraine dividing up certain assets, and reportedly Trump weighs recognizing Crimea as Russian territory in bid to end war. Newsweek comment says, Putin's biggest allies in Europe face political peril, and Kiev Independent comment says, Germany's military rebirth is Europe's best bet against Putin. U.S. to withdraw from group investigating responsibility for Ukraine invasion. Israel resumes war in Gaza with a series of massive airstrikes against Hamas, and reportedly, hundreds reported dead in Gaza as Israel launches widespread strikes. Israel consulted U.S. on its strikes in Gaza, White House told Fox News. Hamas prime minister among senior terrorists killed in IDF surprise attack. Trump claims Biden's pardons for January 6 committee are void because he used an autopen. Appeals court allows Trump administration to enforce ban on DEI programs, for now. In the U.S., segregated facilities are no longer explicitly banned in federal contracts. BYD unveils battery system that charges EVs in 5 minutes. Audi slashing 7,500 jobs, appears to abandon EV-only push. 1 month ago it has been reported as, Tesla's board chair has sold most of her shares in the EV maker. 404 media comments as, AI slop is a brute force attack on the algorithms that control reality. Hundreds of actors and Hollywood insiders sign open letter urging government not to loosen copyright laws for AI. Apple's Siri chief calls AI delays ugly and embarrassing, promises fixes. Zoom AI companion expands agentic skills across the entire Zoom platform, using reasoning and memory to take action and orchestrate task execution, conversational self-service, custom agent creation. More than 45 new innovations announced. Etsy, eBay aim to imitate social media with hyper-personalized shopping. As per Adobe Analytics, traffic to U.S. retail websites from generative AI sources jumps 1,200%. Roblox introducing Roblox Cube, its core generative AI system for 3D and 4D. Heat can age you as much as smoking, a new study finds. Frequent blood donations promote the regeneration of blood cells through genetic adaptation. Marriage triples risk of obesity in men, but not women, study reveals. Akira ransomware can be cracked with 16 RTX 4090 GPUs in around 10 hours. Critical PostgreSQL bug tied to zero-day attack on U.S. Treasury. Consumer Reports, U.S. PIRG, Secure Resilient Future Foundation, and the Center for Democracy and Technology propose Connected Consumer Products End-of-Life Disclosure Act to address IoT security risks. Google taps MediaTek for cheaper AI chips. Intel reaches exciting milestone for 18A 1.8 nm class wafers with first run at Arizona fab. Huawei develops computer chips and move away from Intel, Windows, as Windows license expiring for Huawei PCs, Harmony OS can be next choice. Discord launches SDK to power social infrastructure and communications for games. Google is turning its Play Games app for PC into a Steam competitor, as Google expands PC game support and introduces new earnback program. In the UK, Ofcom announces enforcing the Online Safety Act, platforms must start tackling illegal material from today. Amazon plans to lay off 14,000 managerial positions to save $3.5 billion annually. 12-foot Twitter bird logo from San Francisco headquarters up for auction. U.S. Postal Service seeks DOJ's help on retail leases, counterfeit postage. Young people's risky use of media up to 50 times worse than their use of cannabis, alcohol. Researchers used mosquitoes to deliver malaria vaccines. Married men are doing more cleaning and laundry than in the past. In Japan, robot hand developed using muscles cultured from human-derived cells. New form of Parkinson's treatment uses real-time deep brain stimulation. A new theory says gravity may come from entropy, which could lead to a unified theory of physics, as gravity may arise from quantumness of space. Restoration reveals Churchill painting is century older than catalogued. A study reveals that Greek and Roman statues were not only painted and adorned with textiles and jewelry but also perfumed. Matt Richtman is first American man to win Los Angeles Marathon in 31 years. U.S. Commerce Department bureaus ban China's DeepSeek on government devices, sources say. Baidu releases its first reasoning model Ernie X1 as AI competition ramps up. China's Vidu and Aura Productions announce partnership to debut sci-fi series of AI-generated anime shorts.
Crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with NewsSource Crawler's March 12, 2025 edition. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube Music Charts, Global Top Songs February 28 to March 6, 2025. APT, Rose and Bruno Mars. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. El Mayor de los Ranas, Victor Valverde and Jair Torres. AJ Key Rat, Madhubanti Bagchi, Divya. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. From the Friday, February 28 to Thursday, March 6, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars. APT Rose, Bruno Mars. Luther, with SZA, Kendrick Lamar, SZA. Birds of a Feather, Billie Eilish. Nintendo US Digital Best Sellers, from March 10, 2025. Super Mario Party Jamboree. Minecraft. Overcooked. 2. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Steam's hottest games. Global top selling and top played games across Steam. From the top 100 products by revenue list for Tuesday, February 25, 2025 to Tuesday, March 4, 2025. Monster Hunter Wilds. Counter-Strike 2. PUBG, Battlegrounds. REPO. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. FBI warns of data extortion scam targeting corporate executives. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Electric Alexis Notogen. Notogen is a symbolic music generation model that explores the potential of producing high-quality classical sheet music. Inspired by the success of large language models, LLMs, Notogen adopts a three-stage training paradigm: pre-training on 1.6M musical pieces, fine-tuning on 9K classical compositions with period composer instrumentation prompts, reinforcement learning using our novel SELA MPDPO method, no human annotations or predefined rewards required. Russia conducts inspections on China-Europe rail freight, causing delays. Argentina deploys military as China leads fishing swarm near waters. Coffee theft surges in the U.S. as prices for the beans soar. Ukraine must cede territory in any peace deal, Rubio says. Trump envoy says Zelensky apologized to president for Oval Office dust-up. NATO military chiefs meet in Paris without U.S. to plan rapid response force for Ukraine. RFK Jr. gives food companies ultimatum to remove artificial dyes, and RFK Jr. directs FDA to revise self-affirm rule to improve food ingredient safety, as RFK Jr. seeks to tighten loophole allowing chemicals in U.S. food supply. Girl Scouts sued over alleged heavy metals, pesticides in cookies. In the U.S., most still trust CDC, NIH 5 years after COVID pandemic declaration as per a survey. Reuters reports that CoreWeave wins $12 billion cloud contract from OpenAI ahead of IPO, sources say. Reuters reports that Meta begins testing its first in-house AI training chip. Roche and Zealand Pharma strike $5.3 billion deal for new obesity drug candidate. BlackRock's Fink says Trump deportations will have severe impact on agriculture, construction. HSBC upgrades European stocks, downgrades U.S. as it rethinks Trump optimism. In the U.S., Representatives Ocasio-Cortez, Luna introduce bill to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. In the U.S., Homeland Security overhauls its asylum phone app. Now it's for self-deportation. Justice Department official says she was fired after opposing restoring Mel Gibson's gun rights. Tulsi Gabbard pulls security clearances for top Biden officials and those who went after Trump. Google introducing Gemma 3, the model can run on a single GPU or TPU, based on Gemini 2.0. AI agent Manus partners with Alibaba's Qwen to develop Chinese version. Alibaba releases AI model that reads emotions to take on OpenAI. 12 days ago it has been announced that OpenAI releases GPT 4.5 AI model with greater EQ. Philippines ex-president Rodrigo Duterte arrested at ICC's request over drugs war, government says. Musk blames X outage on massive cyber attack linked to Ukraine. Hacking group Dark Storm claims responsibility for DDoS attack on X. Pakistani forces in a standoff as militants hold about 250 hostages on a hijacked train. Amazon to begin streaming Trump's The Apprentice. Trump says he's buying a Tesla to show support for Musk as his company faces sagging sales, and Trump says he'll label attacks on Tesla locations as domestic terrorism. California pension fund labels Chevron and Saudi Aramco as climate investments. Only 7 countries worldwide meet WHO dirty air guidelines, study shows. Cuba gets older, the island reports its lowest birth rate since the revolution. Saudi Arabia plans record-breaking new skyscrapers. Reportedly, startups starting to compete with big tech for India AI talent. Amazon, Google and Meta support tripling of nuclear capacity by 2050. Geothermal could meet 64% of hyperscale data center power demand, as per a study. U.S. will be central to climate fight even without Trump, says COP30 president. Study claims Earth's atmosphere is shrinking, increasing space debris risks, as climate change will reduce the number of satellites that can safely orbit in space. Relativity names Eric Schmidt as CEO as it updates Terran R development. Sony Music says over 75,000 items removed in battle against AI deepfakes. Scale AI faces probe amid allegations that it's underpaying its data labeling contractors. Leaked internal Sony video uses Horizon's Alloy to show AI-powered PlayStation character prototype. Microsoft Threat Intelligence announced that malvertising campaign leads to info stealers hosted on GitHub. NTT admits hackers accessed details of almost 18,000 corporate customers in cyber attack. Feds link $150 million cyber heist to 2022 LastPass hacks. Carlos Slim cuts ties with Elon Musk's Starlink, invests $22 billion in independent network. Airtel announces agreement with SpaceX to bring Starlink's high-speed internet to its customers in India. Elon Musk seeks Italian presidential meeting to salvage Starlink deal, as 7 days ago it has been reported that Italy is getting cold feet over deal to use Musk's Starlink. Xi Jinping used a human Chinese wall of soldiers to block eye contact between him and Mark Zuckerberg, new book says, and Facebook employees would lose board games against Zuckerberg on purpose, former executive claims. At 2 sessions, Beijing signals greater protections for delivery riders. Deliveroo exits Hong Kong under pressure from Meituan's app, and Uber ends acquisition of Delivery Hero's Taiwan Food Panda business amid regulatory hurdles. Ukraine agrees 30-day ceasefire in return for U.S. weapons. Poland wants 100,000 volunteers to take part in military training in 2027. Governments should use EU loans to buy from European producers, von der Leyen says. Bloomberg reports that Estonia's startups see opportunity in Europe's rush to rearm. California prisons curb inmate movement after 7 homicides. Redfin announces that America's wealthiest 1% could buy 99% of America's homes. The global matcha boom is driving a shortage in Japan. Spain to impose massive fines for not labeling AI-generated content. In EU, Apple, Meta avoid EU fines of up to 10% global revenue, face modest penalties. Google changes Chrome extension policies following the Honey Link scandal, as Google Chrome policy update restricts shady affiliate extensions, like Honey. In the US, Senator Lummis reintroduces Bitcoin Act, which would allow US to buy $80 billion in BTC. Coinbase registers with India's FIU, plans crypto trading launch this year. Thailand approves USDC for trading on crypto exchanges. TikTok will try instituting a 10 p.m. curfew on most teens. Lego to bring game development in-house, new studio created. Waymo is now offering 24/7 robotaxi rides in Silicon Valley. Syria merges Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces into state institutions, as Syrian government reaches deal with Kurdish-led SDF to integrate northeast region. Angola will attempt to broker direct talks between Congo and M23, presidency says. In new book, Dalai Lama tells followers to reject any successor chosen by China, as Dalai Lama says his successor will be born outside China in the free world. Cujo by Stephen King to be remade into another film adaptation by Netflix. Dennis Quaid's Reagan biopic picked up by Universal for international distribution. Doekyai named 2025 Woman of the Year by Billboard. In the U.S., Department of Education lays off nearly 50% of its workforce. White House says Trump won't cut Social Security, Medicare after Musk remarks. U.S. Department of Defense announced that Pentagon culls social science research, prioritizes fiscal responsibility and technologies for future battlefield. Musk says Doge is in almost every federal agency and plans to double staff. Harvard freezes hiring as Trump threatens to pull funding. Reuters reports that Trump seeks minerals refining on Pentagon bases to boost U.S. output, sources say. Hamas is offering a truce with Israel for 5 to 10 years, a U.S. official says. At Harvard Talk, former Israeli PM joked he would give exploding pagers to protesters. Comedian who called Puerto Rico floating island of garbage at Trump rally gets Netflix deal. VW brings back physical buttons after admitting touchscreens are a disaster. Pet cats arrived in China via the Silk Road 1,400 years ago, ancient DNA study finds. Kaolinite mineral found on Mars suggests possibility of ancient life. Microplastics hinder plant photosynthesis, study finds, threatening millions with starvation. Sexism linked to social ills for men and women, finds largest cross-cultural study of its kind. Party drug MDMA may have protected survivors of Nova attack from trauma, study suggests. Trump said Russia had all the cards, but this ceasefire proposal just called Putin's bluff. China to host Russia and Iran for nuclear talks amid Trump's bid to make a deal on weapons. Iran's president to Trump said, "I will not negotiate, do whatever the hell you want." Canada U-turns on U.S. electricity tax as Trump prepares to double tariffs. Recently Trump raises Canadian steel, aluminum tariffs to 50% in retaliation for Ontario energy duties, and Trump imposes new Canada tariffs, renews 51st state demands. Trump's 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum imports take effect, Europe retaliates, as EU countermeasures target U.S. goods worth $28 billion as Trump's steel and aluminum tariffs take effect. Australia rules out reciprocal move on U.S. after Trump proceeds with steel tariffs.